Hello dear students, in this video we are going to discuss about the topic codominance from the chapter Principle of Inheritance and Variation. So in my previous video we have discussed about incomplete dominance. So this incomplete dominance and codominance are the exception to Mendel's law of inheritance, where he states that characters are controlled by a discrete unit which are in pairs and they are segregated during the time of gamete formation. And that the gametes or the factors, they do not blend, right, or they do not influence. But we have seen in case of an incomplete dominance that the F1 progenies do not resemble either of the parents, means the characters or the phenotypic expression comes in between, that is neither of the parent, right? So it comes as an intermediate character. So on the other hand, in case of codominance here, both the factors are expressed in the F1 progeny. Here equally the factors or the alleles expresses in the F1 progeny. So this is about codominance, which deviates from Mendel's law of inheritance or Mendel's monohybrid cross, where we get the result in the ratio of 3:1. And in F1 generation, all the pea plants were tall, means it resembled only one of the parent, not both, not either both, and also not in between. So to understand codominance, here we will take the example of human blood grouping or the blood group ABO type. So this blood group ABO blood group is controlled by a gene I. So in case of red blood cell, and the plasma membrane has a special type of sugar polymer which is controlled by the gene I, and this gene I has three different alleles, IA, IB and small I, right? So this IA and IB, they synthesizes a special type of sugar which makes the plasma membrane of the red blood cell protrude. There are protrusion in the plasma membrane of the red blood cell due to gene I and gene IA and IB, as it synthesizes a special type of sugar polymer, whereas in case of small I, it does not synthesizes or it does not produce any sugar at all, right? And so we are going to take the example of this human blood group to understand about codominance, right? So as we know that human beings are diploid, so out of these three different alleles, they will have only two set, or out of the three they will have only two alleles, as human beings are diploid. So let us see how many different types of combinations can be formed with the help of a chart. Here we will see the different combinations out of these three different alleles, what are the various combinations we can get and what will be the trap types. Here in this chart we have the parent 1, parent 2 and the genotype of the offspring and the blood types. So as in Mendel's law of segregation, it states that during gamete formation the factors are segregated or they are separated. So here also, as human beings are diploid, so out of the three alleles IA, IB and small I, so only two of them will be present. So these two will be separated. So let us see, if parent 1 has IA and parent 2 has also IA, right? So what the offspring will be IA and IA. So since both the alleles have IA and IA, so the blood type will be blood group A. In the second case, if parent 1 has IB and parent 2 also has IB, so three different possibilities they can provide, right? Either the parent 1 can give IA, IB and small I. So similarly parent 2 also can give IA, I and small I. So likewise here So it will be, the combination will be IB and IB. So it will be blood group B, as both of them will express together, it will be blood group B. And in this case, when both will be small I and I, small I and I, as they do not produce any sugar, so it will be the blood group O. Right? Now the next part, if next possibility, if parent 1 produces IA and parent B produces IB. So in case of codominance, both will be expressed together. So it will be IA, IB. Then the blood group will be AB blood group. Or in the second case, if parent 1 produces IB and parent 2 produces IA. So definitely it will be IA, IB again, IA, IB again, so blood group will be AB. And in the next case, if parent 1 produces IA and small I, so it will be, combination will be IA and small I. And since small I do not produce any sugar at all, so only A will express, so the blood group will be A. Now in the next case, if parent 1 produces small I and parent B produces IB, then it will be IB and small I. And here also same case, as I do not produce any sugar, so it will be blood group B. So these will be some possible combinations out of these 3 different alleles with that controls the blood. Okay, in case of human beings, I mean that controls the different blood group based on the type of sugar they can synthesize. So here you can see we have, if we see here, we have how many different types of blood group? So blood group A, blood group B, blood group O and blood group AB. So there are 4 different types of blood groups can be formed, right? As AB, A and blood group B we have already considered. So these are the possible combinations. So this is an example of codominance where both the alleles or both the factors are expressed equally in the F1 generation, which was not described in Mendel's monohybrid cross. So according to Mendel's monohybrid cross, in F1 generation, all the pea plants were tall, as the character tall being dominant over the dwarf pea plant. But here the type of blood group, that in this case IA and IB, here none of them are dominated, so both of them together can express, that is the blood group AB. Whereas the allele small I, as it does not synthesize any sugar at all, so that blood group is considered to be blood group O. So the special type of sugar that is synthesized in the plasma membrane. So as a result, the plasma membrane has a protrusion. So this is about codominance. So here you can see that codominance is also an example of multiple allelism. So let me write here about multiple allelism. Right? Multiple allelism means more than 2 allelism. I mean more than 2 alleles or factors can control a character. Right? So that is about codominance. So what we understand here is that it does not depend on the gene or whether the gene is dominant or not. In fact, the product of gene matters. I mean, the product of gene matters what kind of phenotypic features it is going to express, right? It is not about the gene, whether it will be a dominant or recessive, but in fact, the product of gene, the gene that is going to synthesize that particular product will determine its phenotypic character. So this is what we have been discussing till now in case of incomplete dominance and also in codominance. Let us take the example of a pea seed. So in pea seed, the starch synthesis is controlled by 2 alleles, that is capital B and small b. Here the starch grain synthesis by capital B is very efficient as compared to small b. So due to this reason, when they are in homozygous condition, the seed come out to be round. On the other hand, the small b, when they are in homozygous condition, the seed come out to be wrinkled, as by small b the starch synthesis is less efficient. So as a result, upon maturation, the shape of the seed becomes wrinkled, not round. So the same case when they are in heterozygous condition, that is capital B and small b, it comes out to be round. So according to Mendel's monohybrid cross, it means the round shape is dominant over the wrinkled shape. It means capital B is dominant over the small b. But this is not, if we consider the starch grain size to be the phenotypic expression, then in this angle it is incompletely dominant. Even though the seed is round, if we consider the starch grain size, then it will be incompletely dominant, as because small b can synthesize only small sized starch grain, whereas we can produce large sized starch grain. So the size here, if we consider the starch grain, then it will be an intermediate size, right? So this follows incomplete dominance. So this follows incomplete dominance in this case, right? Thus, more than one phenotypic expression can be influenced by the same gene. So this is about codominance. And also we have discussed about incomplete dominance as well to understand the Mendel's law of inheritance. So whatever Mendel has given in his monohybrid cross, so this incomplete dominance and codominance are exception to that theory, right? So with this I end here for today. So hope to see you in my next video lesson. So till then, keep learning and take care. Bye bye.